Hey everybody, and welcome to Cooking Adventures with Katie, Season 2.5, Let's Be Healthy. Today we are going to be doing cloud pizzas. It's going to be a couple of parts. One, we got to make the dough, and then two, we got to cook it, and then add pizza stuff to it, and then we'll be able to go from there. So I found this recipe yesterday after my fast ended, and made cloud bread, but I'm not gonna call it that. I found another one that called them oopsies, which is a stupid name, but works. So the oops things, it's 3 ounces of cream cheese, 3 eggs from this recipe, and then a pinch of cream of tartar. But today I'm going to do, I'm going to double it, but I'm going to do 4 eggs instead of 6. I'm going to do 6 ounces of the cream cheese. I'm going to do some cream of tartar. I'm going to do some baking soda. And then I'm going to add some flaxseed meal to give it more fiber. And we'll see how that comes out. So y'all will be able to witness that with me, whether it works or not. If it does, fantastic. We'll go on to use those to make pizzas. Otherwise, I'll have to run and go get some more cream cheese. So yes. So we're gonna make cloud pizzas, or oopses. Sure. So other than that, yeah, today was difficult because I made those things yesterday and went to work today, and what are you doing? And I have, it was very difficult today with carbs. I was craving them so bad. Like, I would sit there and, like, my stomach would be rumbling, and then I'd be like, all right, let's have some tea, we'll have some coffee, and we'll sit there and drink because I don't want to eat anything while I'm here because there's not really too much I can have. So I was like, well, let's focus on, working in the kitchen while I'm doing this, making pizzas, for that matter. And it finally got to the point where I just grabbed one of the little breakfast things. We had a chicken biscuit, and I pulled the biscuit off and ate the chicken from the biscuit. It had some of the biscuits, stuck to it because there was cheese. It was chicken, cheese, and biscuit. So I cheated a little bit today, but nothing crazy. I wanted a bite of that pizza so bad. And it got to the point where on my way because we're allowed to eat food once it's considered wasted. On my way taking some of the breakfast pizza to the trash can because it was wasted, I was this close to taking a bite. I was this close to pulling the cheese and everything, the bacon, cheese, bacon, sausage, and then some sausage gravy. I was just and eat that, but I did it. I was good, with the exception of the tiniest little bit of biscuit on that chicken. Oh my god, it was so difficult today. So, mental thing, I'm not going to call the cloud bread. I'm just Cloudies, there we go. I'll do a Cloudies, because then it sounds more like candy, I suppose. So yes, so we're gonna do 4 eggs. We're gonna do 6 ounces of sign language for 6 ounces of cream cheese. We're going to do a half tablespoon of cream of tartar, and we're going to do a half teaspoon of cream of tartar and a half teaspoon of baking soda, and we'll see how that, maybe just a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. It'll help it rise a bit, because the ones last night didn't rise at all and made me think they should have tasted more like, they should have crunched more like crackers, but they didn't. So just do that, see how it works, and we'll see how this comes out. So experimenting with healthy stuff, and we're going to be making little pizzas that are low carb, because the bread pizza dough isn't pizza dough, it's Cloudies. So we're going to be making cloudy pizza. Yay. Alright, so I'm going to get the stuff ready, and so you need 2 bowls. and a magic whisk machine, unless you are so inclined to do things by your hand. But in that case, you want to pull the cream cheese out to soften it a little bit earlier, because it makes things easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull things out and get things ready, and we'll go from there. Alright, so in your bowls, you want to put your egg whites in one bowl and your egg yolks in the other bowl. So we're going to separate these for that. Alright, that's one. So we're going to need 4 eggs. Alright, so we're going to start with the yolks. Now with the yolks, you want to add your 6 ounces of cream cheese, which that's the first part of it. So if there's 8 ounces in one Tupperware, then 8 minus 2 is 6. Alright, and now this is where we want to add the meal and any flavorings that you want. So we're going to add a pinch of salt, cream of tartar. No, cream of tartar goes to the whites. I'm a crazy person. Flaxseed meal. Now flaxseed meal has all of 3 carbohydrates, and all of those 3 carbohydrates are the dietary fiber. So if you can see that, that's what it says. So I think we'll just add a little bit, like maybe, let's start with a tablespoon. Oops. Okay. So a tablespoon of flaxseed meal. 2 tablespoons is a serving size. Let's do 2. So we get those 3 grams of fiber. Alright, and now we want this to all be creamy. So let's mix it up. Alright, so this is what we have. Now we're going to go on to the whites. Now, as you can see with the little streaky streaks right here, when I cracked one of my eggs, the yolk broke, and it's been a long time since I've done that, so I just kinda, yeah. So with this, we want to add, where's the quarter? Let's do quarter, 2/4 teaspoon cream of tartar, because recipe originally called for 1. And then I found this nifty thing with a resealable lid. How cool is that? Like, that is freaking awesome. If I can get the thing open. Open for me! Okay, I need... Oh, that's it. Oh no. Can I, like, pop this open to get at it? Yes, I can. Alright. So we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then pop this lid back on because I can save it longer now. Now, you want to clean off your whiskeys, and we're going to make this until it has stiff peaks, kind of like a meringue, but not as bad. So it'll just take a couple of minutes. Alright, so stiff peaks. stiff peak status? Yes. All right, so now we are going to set the oven on to 300. And it's probably best to do that first so the oven hits the temperature. Now, you want to take a soft spatula, so like that, a soft one, and you want to fold the cream cheese into the whites, and you want to do it very carefully so as not to deflate your whites a whole lot. Okay, so just fold it in and just be very careful until everything's mixed up. All right, so while we're waiting for the oven to heat up, you're also going to, it's not bad. We'll see how these come out. But you're going to want to go ahead and pull out your marinara or pasta sauce. Now I made this the other day. I went back to the store after the Ratatouille episode, like the next day, and bought like 12 more tomatoes and made pasta sauce. So like with that, it's a sauteed onion and the crushed tomatoes. Once the onion's sauteed, you just crush the tomatoes into it, cook it down, and then add seasoning, and then take a emulsion blender and just buzz the stuff. I ended up taking a measuring scoop, scooping them out into a bowl, and then blending it to get it this. It's a little bit spicy. I did some salt, some pepper, garlic, Italian seasoning, basil. What else did I do? I think I did some thyme. Like, I just threw stuff in there. Some Cajun seasoning. So it's a little bit spicy. But it's good because at the end of the day, when boyfriend and I make pizzas, I like them a little bit spicy, and he ends up putting like extra Tabasco on his for some strange reason because he's weird. Anyway, grab your pasta sauce if you make it yourself. We'll do an episode on that in the future. Pepperonis, cheese, any other whatever doodads you want to have on your pizza, and get it ready. So yeah, that's pretty much it right now. Also, parchment paper, or spray your pans down really well because these will stick. And you also want a cooling rack for when they're done. If you have parchment paper, you can go ahead and set everything out, and then just as soon as one comes out, just throw the other one on there and pop it right back in. They are 30 minutes in my oven a piece. So once we get the first batch, I'll taste one, and then I suppose whether it's good or not, we'll go from there. Like I really have a choice. But yeah, so once this oven heats up, we're gonna pop this first batch in. I'm gonna show you how big I make them, and then we'll move on. All right, so if your parchment paper is ornery like mine is, you can fold the corners in, and it'll stop rolling up on you. But pretty much, here's what I do. I'm gonna make my second batch first since it'll be easier. I'll use my 1 tablespoon and take a heaping spoonful. Go ahead and put it on there, and then spread it out to about the size you want. They won't really shrink all that much, but they will rise just a little bit, and then adding the baking powder I think might make them rise a little bit more. So that's really it. And just, if you want them bigger, make them bigger. If you want them smaller, make them smaller. But that's about how big I'm going to make mine. So go ahead and boop them all in, and then as soon as you're done, you can throw them in the oven for 30 minutes. Alright, so into the oven for 30 minutes. Alright, so here's what they come out as, and I went ahead and put the second batch in, but you want them to be like a golden brown color. So this is fresh out the oven, and let's see what they taste like. Okay, a little bit crunchy, but soft on the inside. Some of them rose more than others. But all in all, I like this a lot better than I did yesterday. Still more reminiscent of crackers though than bread. So if you went ahead and got your stuff prepared, fantastic. If you were lazy like me and sat in the corner and doodled the entire time, then go ahead and get your stuff, your pizza stuff ready while your oven's cooking your second batch. Alright, so you want to take a teaspoon of your salsa, your pizza sauce, and just kind of put it on the top. And I'm only just going to do this first row of 4. Alright, and then grab your dairy-free mozzarella. Go ahead and put some on there too, on top of the pasta sauce. Alright, grab you a pepperoni. Try not to eat them all. And then grab you some dairy-free Parmesan to go on top. And that's it. It's easy. You can add more cheese if you want. I'm just going to go lightly because I know boyfriend will want to do pizzas when he comes back, but I'm going to do this. And he can see how it is, or he can make his own pizza dough. So yeah, so go ahead and get all the rest of these done, and put them on either a third cookie sheet or one of the ones when they come out. And we're going to put them in the broiler for like about 20-30 seconds for the cheese to melt and brown. Alright, now if you have a gas oven, then you can just pop these into the bottom drawer for about 30-45 seconds, just enough to melt the cheese and warm them up. Otherwise, if you have just a regular electric oven, then just wait until your second batch is done, and just throw it on broil, trade it out, let it sit until everything browns and melts, and yeah. So we'll be back in literally just a second once everything melts. Alright, so here's how they come out. They are a bit more brown. The cheese is melted. Let's do this small one. The middle is just a little bit cold, but I approve. Approved! Little guiltless snacks for those of you not dieting, and freaking dinner for those of us that are. So, that being said, success. The Cloudies are, for a single batch, 2 eggs, 3 ounces of cream cheese, a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal. That's optional. It just adds more fiber to it and makes it a bit healthier for you. Also make it a little bit more filling than if you left it out. So that was the single batch. Double batch makes all of this. And then the pizzas are homemade pasta sauce, 1 slice of pepperoni, or if you get those tiny little bitty ones, you could probably get 2 or 3. Dairy-free mozzarella, and dairy-free Parmesan, or you can use regular cheese if that's what you're doing. So, yeah. Cooking Adventures with Katie, season 2.5. Let's get healthy. Cloudy pizzas. They are a success. And my dinner. So, like, subscribe, comment, If you have any ideas, or you've done the low carb, low sugar diet thing, and you got some tips for me to like what you do when you absolutely have to have some sugar, or what you do when you absolutely have to have some carbs, because screw this making pizza all day long and not eating it. Making pizza when you get home. It's tough. It really is. But shoot, me being a fat kid, if I can do it, you can do it. It just takes a little bit of willpower, and a little bit of motivation. And sometimes that daily motivation has to be something different, because sometimes that motivation that worked yesterday doesn't work today. So, yeah. Yeah, that's really it. So, without further ado, happy cooking, and if you're sticking with me, good luck, more power to you, props, and yeah.